Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Man fatally shot in North York, nearby schools briefly placed under lockdowns. Ontarians overwhelmingly believe Ford government poorly handling top issues, survey suggests. Man located with stabbed wounds at Toronto's Warden subway station. Police in Halton urge vigilance following recent rise in grandparent emergency scams. Saskatchewan RCMP say one suspect killed 11 in rampage, including brother. Ontario vaccine portal experienced booking issue but specifics in short supply. MPs unanimously vote to temporarily double GST rebate for lower-income Canadians.
Those were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details.
A man has been shot dead in North York. Police were dispatched to the Jane Street and Furgrove Crescent area just south of Finch Avenue at around 1:40 p.m. for reported gunshots. Police initially said that officers were administering first aid to the victim. However, the individual was subsequently pronounced deceased at the scene. So far, no information has been released about possible suspects. Both Furgrove Public School and Westview Centennial Secondary School were initially placed under lockdowns, according to the Toronto District School Board, but the board confirmed at 3:50 p.m. that both lockdowns had been lifted. There's no subway service at Warden subway station after a man was stabbed Thursday afternoon, Toronto police say. Officers responded to reports of stabbing at the station located at Warden and St. Clair Avenues shortly before 1 p.m. A man was located with stab wounds and taken to trauma center in serious but stable condition, according to Toronto paramedics. The TTC says there is currently no subway service between Victoria Park and Kennedy due to a security incident. Shuttle buses are running between Victoria Park and Kennedy. A new survey suggests that Ontarians overwhelmingly believe the Doug Ford government is poorly handling top issues such as housing, healthcare, and senior care. The Angus Reid survey released on Wednesday indicates that 4 months into the Progressive Conservatives' second mandate, Ontarians are feeling generally negative about the party's performance. About 80% of respondents said they believe Ontario was doing a very poor job when it came to healthcare. Nearly the same percent of respondents felt that way about housing affordability, while about 77% said the PCs were doing a very poor job with senior care. Praise is about equal to criticism on only two measures: the response to COVID-19 and relationship with the federal government. The survey found, notably, neither of these issues rises high on the priority scale. The majority of respondents who voted for the Progressive Conservatives in the June election, about 66%, said the government should try to free up acute care beds, even if it means moving patients into long-term care homes they did not choose. About 34% of Ford supporters disagreed and saw it as a violation of the patient's rights. About 31% of NDP respondents and 40% of Liberal respondents said the government should try to free up beds in the manner. An issue with Ontario's vaccine booking portal that hid some available appointments has now been resolved, the Ministry of Health said Thursday, but it is unclear when the problem started and how many users it might have affected. Critics questions the impact the problem may have had on discouraging people from seeking COVID-19 vaccinations. The Canadian press had noted multiple reports of people hoping to book a COVID-19 vaccination appointment, often parents looking on behalf of their children and finding nothing, sometimes in the entire city of Toronto. That was despite assurances from authorities that there was actually wide availability. In response to initial questions last week from the Canadian press, a spokesperson for Health Minister Sylvia Jones said there have been no reported problems. When pressed again earlier this week, Hannah Jensen acknowledged there was a problem. The Ministry of Health is currently troubleshooting an issue with its provincial booking system, Jensen wrote in a statement. There are many clinics that have availability, so clients are encouraged to continue to look for appointments via the provincial booking system and the provincial vaccine contact center, as well as via other local vaccine channels. Jensen did not provide answers to several follow-up questions at the time, but on Thursday afternoon said the issues had been resolved. Liberal health critic Adil Shamji said, "The vaccination rollout has been disorganized from the beginning. Since then, there has been little done to promote vaccination, resulting in lower than expected rates of immunization, and now technical glitches are making it challenging for Ontarians who are seeking vaccines on their own initiative." he said in a written statement. RCMP say investigation shows a suspect in mass slaying in Saskatchewan killed all 11 people on his own, including his brother. Miles and Damien Sanderson had been named as the two suspects in the rampage on the James Smith Cree Nation and in the village of Bulletin on September 4th. 18 others were injured. Assistant Commissioner Rhonda Blackmore said Thursday there is evidence Damien Sanderson was involved in planning and preparation of the attacks, although the extent of that involvement is still being investigated. She said, however, there is no evidence he killed anyone, and the investigation shows he was killed by his brother. Miles Sanderson committed all the homicides alone, Blackmore said. The Saskatchewan RCMP believes it is important to clarify Damien's involvement. Our investigators continue to corroborate witness statements with physical evidence and exhibits to create an accurate picture of the motives behind these crimes and why some of the victims were targeted. She said it will likely be taking months for investigators to compile a full timeline of what happened. The reality is we may never really know exactly why, Blackmore said. RCMP had issued warrants for both brothers and were searching for them across the province. The next day, police said they had found Damien Sanderson's body in a grassy area in the First Nation near one of the crime scenes.
The officers confirmed Damien had a warrant for his arrest for a previous assault. The two officers looked at a photo of Damien from the RCMP police record and occurrence system to assist them in their search efforts. The most recent photo available of him in that system is from 2014. The officers contacted the caller, who declined to provide an initial statement to police or to provide any further details about the stolen vehicle. The officers conducted extensive patrols throughout James Smith Cree Nation in an attempt to locate Damien and the stolen vehicle. Officers contacted the caller a second time to see if they would know of any other locations where Damien may be. The caller suggested police search for the vehicle on North Road on James Smith Cree Nation. Officers immediately went to the search area and located the vehicle parked in front of a residence on North Road. The vehicle was empty, the windows were down, and the keys were missing. The officers confirmed the vehicle belonged to the caller by the license plate. Officers contacted the caller to confirm the vehicle had been located. The caller planned to retrieve the vehicle. While checking the area surrounding the vehicle, officers spoke with occupants of a nearby RV, but none had seen Damien. The officers then knocked on the door of the residence and obtained consent from the homeowner to conduct a search for Damien. Inside the residence, the officers observed 3 males among a group of approximately 7 individuals. The males in the residence were asked to identify themselves. None of them identified as Damien Sanderson. The keys for the stolen vehicle were recovered from inside the residence. Officers were unable to obtain any information from the occupants of the residence about how the vehicle got there. The caller arrived at the residence to retrieve the vehicle shortly after 6 a.m.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.